right, if you have not as of yet, if you could log in, you'll see on the, I'm going to be using Pear Deck. Have any of y'all used Pear Deck before? Let's use it often. Have any of you used Pear Deck before? No? Yes? I have truly fallen in love with Pear Deck, especially with the online platform. You'll see the way that I utilize it. You can use it with your kids, your students the same way, and it is awesome because the kids follow along, and at the end, I can pull a report and I can tell what every kid responded to, every question. Now, when you see it, it'll be anonymous. No one's going to know that you answered what you did. But when I can go back and I can look and I can see who answered what. So it's also a great way to use a formative assessment kind of tool, keeps kids following along and not going off in another world, right? It takes them forever to type the code. Oh yeah, you should be able to give them a direct link. You should be able to. I can give my kids a direct link, or maybe that's just when. Now that I think about it, that might be the student paced, because you can do this where it's student paced, and then you can do it where it's instructor paced. And I'm an advocate for the instructor paced. The student paced, I don't feel like, I don't know. I guess you could get more out of it, but again, I've got about 10 or 12 of you on the line now. If you could all, I'm going to wait till everybody is into the Pear Deck before I start. So you'll go to joinpd.com and your code RYJYBQ. Red yards joyfully yield broke visits. If you would all join that, that would be wonderful. And once I get you guys in, we'll start. Looks like I have about 12 of you right now online. All right, I've got about half of you. Again, you'll want to kind of join. You'll want to follow along with this. It's definitely going to be interactive, and you'll want to be able to access everything. So just go to joinpd.com and then type in that code RYJYBQ. This is not on Pear Deck. I just am using Pear Deck for my presentation. Of course, this is on another application. So while you're logging into this, I will tell you just a couple of things about myself. So I am Melissa Ligh. I teach at Morrisville High School in Morrisville, North Carolina. I've been teaching for about 10 years. Prior to that, I was in corporate for 25 years. Worked in management, training, worked for a company that brought me to North Carolina, and after about a year, they did a huge restructure, and my entire department, along with hundreds of others, got let go. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to become a teacher. And here I am, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I love it. I taught for a few years at an early college. I taught in a very poor area for a while, inner city for a few years, and now I'm in Morrisville where I live, and I absolutely love it. So again, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes for those who just joined us. If you will log into joinpd.com, and then it's RYJYBQ is the code that you'll need to follow along. I'm going to start it in just a second, and the code will still stay up for a little bit. It won't stay up the whole time, but it will stay up for a short amount of time. I did another little tidbit about me. I was fortunate enough to do a teacher TED Talk a couple years back called I Teach Screenagers, and would love for you to check it out. I started a YouTube channel just recently and creating some educational videos for teachers. And so that's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you guys, again, hopefully you are logging on or you are in the process of logging on to the joinpd.com because this is going to be somewhat interactive. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay, and then I've already kind of talked a little bit about me, so you should, oh my goodness gracious, what did I do wrong? Here we go. Okay, yeah, so you should be able to respond to this question. What grade do you teach? If you could respond to that question, what grade do you teach? And again, I've got, it looks like about 6 or 7 of you who have not joined yet. It'd be awesome if you could join the Pear deck and follow along. It'd be wonderful. All right, so let's see what we have so far though. 8th grade, 4th grade, 7th grade, first viewers. We have a really good mix. 9 in a district position. Awesome, awesome, very good. Okay, the next question. How would you rate your technology skills? Consider the variety of tech that you use currently. How would you rate your skills? Pretty good, pretty decent, okay. I bet some of y'all are kind of modest too. I bet a few of you are being modest. Proficient. No one's doing, I really don't like it and avoid it as often as I can. So that's good, I suppose. If you're just joining, if you will go to joinpd.com and access this code that's up in the right-hand corner, RYJYBQ. Got a couple more people coming in. So again, if you are just joining, go to joinpd.com and the code is up to the right, RYJYBQ. All right, next question. Draw a picture of how you're feeling today. Be interesting. Draw a picture of how you're feeling today. You have the ability to draw on your computer. Some of you may not have the ability to do that. Oh, I love it. A big old, oh, I love it. Big old smiley face. I love it. Excellent, excellent. Glad to see it. Glad to see it. Oh, okay. That's like, over, yes. I could totally appreciate that. Oh my gosh, totally. Really feeling that way. Awesome, awesome. Such artiste among us. I love it. I love it. Okay, moving on. What do you hope to get out of this particular workshop today? Tell me what you are hoping to attain from this. What are you hoping to get out of this? Because I want to make sure that I keep this focused on things that benefit you the best I can. Again, if you're just joining us, go to joinpd.com and type in the code, which is in the right-hand corner, RYJYBQ. RYJYBQ. Okay, so let's see what you guys are hoping. Information will help your students in the new normal. Yes, incorporate lessons. Fun ideas. I think I'm going to give you some fun ideas. I'm going to show you a bunch of different things. It might be a little overwhelming at times, but I want to show you as much as I can. And so I will move at a relatively fast pace. If I go too fast, please, please tell me slow down. Feel free to jump in anytime. And so we're going to, I don't know if you can actually access this link. You should be able to. Can you guys click on the hyperlink there? Let me know if you can access that. Give me a thumbs up or type in yes or no. Perfect. Okay, I just want to make sure you can get it. I want to get everybody in there. I'm going to open mine up as well, and then I'll come back to that slide. Because this is what we're going to be using today. I'm actually going to go kind of back and forth again. I like Pear Deck because I like the interaction that you can get from it. And the fact that you can ask questions, as I mentioned earlier, I can ask students questions and hold them accountable for actually following along and paying attention, which is a great thing, especially in this online environment. Okay, so If you cannot, you should be able, if you cannot for some reason, you can go to that bit.ly code at the bottom, but ideally you are all in and with me. So I'm gonna move along. We're gonna go, you can arrow over to the right. I've already introduced myself. That's my YouTube, my Twitter. I'm not going to go into that any further. We're going to go right along. I've got my email here. If you'd like to jot it down, feel free to reach out to me. You will have a survey at the end or a form that you'll have to fill out to get credit. And so I will get to that soon. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to click on this link that says Guess Who. And I'm going to give you about, 5 minutes. Let's see who can solve it, who can do this the quickest is what I'm looking for. I want to see if anyone can actually get all of the answers. You can turn on sound. You'll notice you have the ability to put sound there if you'd like. It'll play music. I've got my volume turned down on here, but so you can add music, click on start, and you're going to try to figure out what the answers are. And if you get it right, it'll let you move on. If you get it wrong, it's going to force you to go back to the beginning. And then you click on the little, if you get it right, you click on the little arrow to move forward. I'm going to do the first two with you, and then I'm going to let you guys go from there. So this is just one example of the many things I'm going to show you that you can create through Genie. I created this game. I have done this with several different things. I did a unit on Shakespeare, and I had various different musicians and rappers, and I had their picture, and then I had quotes, and along with Shakespeare, of course, and they had to figure out if it was Shakespeare or which rapper it was, and the kids loved it. They had a blast with it. They got kind of frustrated because I made it where you had to go back to the beginning, like some of you are probably feeling right now. You don't have to do that, but that's how I created it. And so it's just a really awesome game that they can play when it comes to recalling concepts. Has anyone gotten to the end yet? Anybody? Type in the chat box where you are, how many you've gotten right. Type in the chat box for me if you don't mind, how many you have gotten right on the Google chat box. Question 3. The rest of you? None thus far. Okay, I'm gonna help you. This first one, the first one is right here in the left corner. All right, that's Aristotle. Yeah, the next one is Vincent Van Gogh. The number 2 is Vincent Van Gogh. This one right here to the left. Okay. Number 3, Et tu, Brute, that was Julius Caesar, which, I think is this one right here. Or no, it's this one. It's right there. Yeah. And then Fatras Baton, small and weak, he was known for his stamina. I am pretty sure that this is right here. Let's see. Yes, Saint Louverture, Haitian general. All right, to be or not to be Shakespeare, of course, right? All right, and so again, you don't have to go through the whole game. I just wanted to give you an idea. I'm going to go back now to the presentation, and I'm going to move on and show you another option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a lot of things, and then I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? So If you want to click on this link at the bottom, this is another game that I created with my students. Now, it was a little more challenging online because, and not because of the game itself, you know, we had to figure out breakout rooms and all that good stuff. In class, you actually would have groups together. This particular game, I have done various different things. This is an acquaintance to get to know you, and it's very generic, but you can click on the dice and roll the dice, and then you stop it. You click on it to stop it. Well, my mouse is not working. There we go. And then you can move your little people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And then describe your ideal day. Would anyone like to describe their ideal day? Y'all are a quiet bunch for a bunch of teachers. Tired? Yes, technology working and kids on task. Absolutely, absolutely. So you can do tons of stuff. Yeah, I know, it has. You can do tons of stuff with this. I have wind on my face and sand in my toes. Rebecca, I am right there with you. And I must admit, a margarita in my hand. Best day ever, and a good book. So this game, I actually have taken novels. If you're an English teacher, I have taken novels and there are questions related to the novels. I have even, and I'll show this to you later, I have even incorporated Loom videos. Like they can land on one of these and there'll be a video and I will be on the video telling them something they have to do. You know, whether it's turn to your partner and tell them 3 things about the book that you're reading. So you can create the questions, so you can recreate this game to fit whatever you're trying to accomplish. So I do it at the beginning of the year, you know, get to know each other. I've done it with books. You can do it with anything. It's just another idea. And kids love games, right? I mean, kids love games. And that's one of the reasons I particularly love this application. Okay, I am going to move on. All right, I'm going to give you guys a minute to try each of these out. My personal favorite is the farm animals, but if you click on the link, these are, again, games that I've created through Genie. And the first one is like an old Atari. You know, I think back to the old days when we had Atari and Centipede and Pac-Man, right? But you pick, click on it to start, and then go to missions. Missions is where you would go to play your games, and you can pick. Now, you're not going to know the answers to most of these because this is one I did on a book, a novel we were doing. But if you click on space, for instance, you get the question. You have to answer. And if you get it right, you get to move forward. If you get it wrong, it's going to say game over. Yes. Well, okay, so I don't know if the one I showed you previously, you know, it's very easy to do that. You put people in groups and they play it together. These particular games, they would have to probably do it individually, but I'm going to show you all kinds of other stuff you can do with this that involve kids together as well, okay? But these particular games are, on this particular page, are really more centered around individual. I have a Pac-Man. So I'm gonna, if you don't wanna follow along, I'm just gonna kind of open them up really briefly and show you what each game does. I say briefly, if the internet cooperates. You wanna hit start, same concept. You ask a question, and if you get it right, you get to move forward, right? And if you get it wrong, the game is gonna be over. So I'm gonna click next. My next question, I'm gonna purposely hit wrong. And now I'm gonna try again. I've gotta start over, okay? So again, little kids too really love, the smaller kids, I mean, listen, the high school kids love it. But especially the little kids. Now, farm animals, actually, I'll wait. I'm going to go to mini quizzes. I get so excited with this application. So mini quizzes. I will use this to help students to prepare for quizzes with vocabulary, with concepts. This particular one is with poetry. And so there's the poem. They had to read the poem, and then they had to determine what would the name of the poem likely be. And if they get it right, they get to move forward. And there's actually noise with this too. It'll say, yay, you can add the volume to it. What impact does line 9 have on the poem? You pick the answer. If you get it wrong, it's going to tell you. If you get it right, it's going to let you keep going. So let's see. I'm going to pick this one, which is wrong. Now, this one I set up where it didn't make you go all the way back. This one, it just says, oops, wrong, try again. Okay? You can determine what you want the kids to do. Okay? Then farm animals. This is my favorite one. I don't know why. I think it's the little kid in me. I just, for some reason, really like the farm animals game. So I'm going to hit start. The object is to get as many animals on your farm that you can. So if I answer the question right, then I will get an animal. So I got a doggy, right? If I answer another one right, I get a cow. I don't know why I like this so much, but so the idea is to fill up your farm with all the different animals. And I think in this particular one, I have like maybe 15 rounds that you go through. So I'm going to pause for a second. I feel like I know I'm going fast. If you have a question, feel free to type it into the chat box. But I am going to keep moving on. If not, okay? All right, now, going to the next slide. I'm going to show you some experiences and some things that I've done with this. I am a proponent of utilizing tons. I like variety. I don't like to get bored, and I know my high school students don't like to get bored. And so I'm a big proponent of variety. And I will incorporate Edpuzzle, I will incorporate YouTube videos, I will incorporate Common Lit, all into one experience, which is what I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what I've done with that. That yes, they absolutely are compatible with iPads. They absolutely are. So this particular assignment, I wanted the students to read an article. I wanted them to read a Common Lit. I don't know if you know what Common Lit is, but it's a great source for really any reading whatsoever for any grade level. And so they had to read the article. First, before they read it, I asked them questions. And they had to read what was there and then answer it. And as they get the questions right, they get more doors to open, okay? And I don't remember the answers to these, so we're just gonna, if it's wrong, it says no. Let's see. All right, so now I'm up to 4 doors. And then I need to click, I'm gonna say this might be A, but I don't remember yet. Okay, I'm gonna show you, I wanna go through to the end on this one because I wanna show you what happens at the end. The ego is, what is that? I wanna say the ego controls everything. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, I got one more question. Nope. All right, now when they get to the end, they then will actually read the entire article. They can click on this link and they have to read the entire article, and they have to do the multiple choice questions, and then they have to determine which one of these would work based on the answers that they picked. Now, one of the things I like about this too, you know, Common Lit, if you have not used it, you have the ability as a teacher If kids highlight text, you can see any annotations that they make. And so I'm not signed in, but the kids highlight it and they make annotations, and you can see that as an instructor. You can see every annotation that they make. So if you are at any point doing anything with literacy, I highly recommend that. But they would determine the answers, and then once they get the answer right, they would put it in, and then they could move on. All right. I'm going to go to another one. Let me close this, and I'm going to show you this. It's this one. So I think that this is the one. Let me see. Get a little slow here. At the beginning of the year, it's been a little bit challenging online. I've had to do this totally different, but this is something you could certainly still use online. At the beginning of the year, I would, let me cut that down. I like to sit and talk to my kids individually, but you know that when you have 35 kids and being able to do that and still be productive and have your other kids busy doing things and not waste time, you know, it's a juggling act. So I created this experience, so to speak, that they have to complete. And it really is very lengthy. I mean, this particular activity would carry them through for a few days. And so while they're doing this, I am meeting with each student individually, and I'm having conversations with them. So it's still being productive. And so a lot of what I put in this particular one should have been review for students. It was, again, I teach English, so it was more so with, let me get this. Let me cut the music off. Why is my music not cutting off? It's not cutting off. Okay, sorry. If you have used Edpuzzle before, why is it forcing me to do that? Have any of you used Edpuzzle before? Any of you used Edpuzzle before? Yes, no? It's kind of like Play Pause It. Yes, you have? Yes, okay. Yes, okay. So there would be a video that they would have to watch. If you're familiar with so for those of you who are not, if students watch a video and it pauses at different points and asks them questions, and they have to answer the questions. And as a teacher, you can pull the report and you can see what their answers were.
It's
so
4 o'clock.
If I were to watch this video, I'm not going to watch this video, but it would stop at certain points and it would ask a question, and the student has to type the answer in. All right, so they have some of those that they have to do. Let me move on. They have to take notes. You notice it says they have to take notes. They're going to turn in their notes at the end of the day. So each one of these, they have to watch this video. They have to take notes. They have to listen to certain things. They have to, again, take notes as they're going along, because they're going to get a final grade, which again helps with that accountability piece. It's pretty lengthy, but they just go through each. I did this as kind of a review to prepare for the year, to see what they knew and what they didn't know, and to also afford me the time to be able to sit and have conversations with each student individually. All right, so I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm going to move on because I have other stuff I want to show you. Let me go to the next page. Okay, this is one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite things I've done with my kids. And I think you could still do this even with the young kids. But I'm pretty sure this is, let me make sure, yeah. Oh no, yeah, this is the one. Let me open this up. So it's basically, they start out, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt, but it turns into a pretty complex project. So I put them in groups. Earlier you were asking about groups. The students would be in groups. And the first part of this mission, they have a mission, is to determine their spies. and they have some information about each of the spies if they click on the spies, okay? And they have a mission, all right? They have to solve the mission to open the briefcase. And so this is just the first part. Now, mission one, oh, let me go back. So mission one is a riddle. Let's see if any of you know this. I'm never scared. Oh, I have a typo on there. I'm never scared, but often petrified. I can't make a bird, but I can make a bat. And I can't live in a home, but I sure would die for one. Does anyone know what the answer to that riddle is? Yes, good job, Rebecca. So then when they get the answer, that's right, good job, Carolyn. Carolyn or Caroline, you go to, you would put your answer in here. So I'm going to click on T-R-E-E, and I get my first number. Oh no, I hit wrong. Oh, look, I hit the wrong thing. It said get out. I must have typed something wrong. Let me try that again. If you don't do it right, as you see, you'll get kicked out. T-R-E. There we go. So my first number is 2. So then they have to keep going. So they're getting the numbers to open up the briefcase. All right. So once they get all the numbers to the briefcase, then they can open it. So the final number, I will just tell you, is 230. 230. And now they can open the briefcase. All right. But it's not done. It's not done. They need to do some more work. Okay. So they need to click on the key, and it tells them there are several. Now, again, if you teach young kids, you might not want to do this particular theme that I chose, but I teach high school kids. There were several murders that have occurred, and they think it might be a serial killer. We need them to find out who is the person, who is the killer, what is their motive, why are they doing it? And I'm disguising text is what I'm doing, because what happens is they click on each clue. The murderer has left notes for the agents, for the detectives, but the letters are pieces of actual literature. They're actual text. Now, you could do this with math. You could do it with solving. There's tons of things you could do with it. But they have to read and analyze the poem before they can determine what the killer is telling them. So they have to figure out all the clues to figure out who the killer is and why they're doing what they're doing. And so each one of them, there's all these different clues they have to go through. So then there's another letter. Each time the killer leaves this letter, and again, I will take some challenging text that they have to read that they normally would not want to read, but because it's part of this whole mission and solving it, they are more engaged in doing so. And so I usually offer some kind of incentive to the kids, the groups that get closest to who the killer might be, because at the end they're going to have to also do a little bit of research and determine some people in history that have been known to do certain things. And so as you see, it's multi-layered, right? It takes a few days for them to do this, but they go through the entire thing. And again, several letters that have been left. They have clues, not a whole lot other than the letter. All right, so then they have to contact the FBI agents. They need to get FBI involved. They're going to have to do an analysis, right, to determine who the killer is. And so when they're done, let me see, I think this is it. They have to establish a profile, and they're going to determine who the killer is. They're going to present a profile, and then they're going to have to do a presentation and upload it at the end to a Google Drive that's connected to this, which is here. So see here, they have the final. Prepare your profile. You're going to deliver it. You need to catch the killer. Make your presentation appealing and convincing. The best agents will get to solve the case. Your profile needs to do each of the following, and then they can go in and they can actually upload it to the shared folder where they're supposed to upload it. So one of my favorites, the kids, I think because I'm an English teacher and I get kids to read stuff they normally would not in a million years want to read, it works fairly well for that. Okay, I am going to keep going. Are y'all okay? Y'all with me? Okay, relay race. Again, you can create, it's just a basic relay race where they have to answer questions to be able to advance through the race. And now when we were actually physically in school, I used the tickets. I had a roll of tickets, and students who won things or got there quicker, I might say, okay, the first 3 to cross the finish line, I'm going to give a ticket to, and then the tickets, they could trade in for points towards maybe a low grade. Like if they get a low test grade, maybe they get a 60, they can trade in a couple tickets to get a few extra points on that grade. I also, because again, I teach high school kids, they could trade it in for snacks. I'd have candy and chips and stuff like that. Anything disguised as a bribe. Just kidding. But it's just, there's so many different games that you can create. I've also incorporated deck toys. I don't know if you have used deck toys before, but I'll create an experience. And again, one of the things might be a deck toy that they have to do, and they're layered, they're layered. So they might, if you, for instance, have an activity where they have to solve to open the doors, and then once they open the doors, then they have to go to the deck toy and they have to complete all of that before they can go to the next round. And so it's a way to add a little variety to your units, to your bigger units or concepts that you might be trying to teach. Why is it not opening? Oh, I need to log in, I guess because I'm not logged in. It should have still opened though. Let me see, sign in with Google. Hopefully this will work. I should have had this open. So deck toys have any of you used deck toys? Yes, no? No? No. Deck toys is really cool. I would encourage you to check that out as well. Yeah, so, well, no, they're not all on the actual site, but you can, the kids go to that one place. The kids only go to that one place. When you design the experience, you bring in what you want them to do, right? So that all they have to do is go into that one place to complete what they need to complete, if that makes sense. All right, it's not taking me. I on my personal computer instead of my school computer. And I don't know why it's doing that. Let's see. Let me go to my home. Hopefully it's what I'm looking for is there. My dashboard. See if I can show you. One of the things I like about deck toys is it's kind of like a hyperdoc, but I think a little bit easier and a little more engaging. Why is it doing this? Okay, I'm going to rate you. Maybe you'll let me go. Okay, no, I don't want to do that right now. Not bringing up my deck toys. Where's my dashboard? My dashboard. I don't know why it's not loading. I'm so sorry. So I'll just tell you, deck toys, very similar. You create a path for kids to go, and they can't go from one point without going to the next point. And it's got a lot of fun things in it. Like you could do a maze. There's a maze. There's a matching game. I love the maze is one of my favorites that you can do. It's kind of like the find your way through, because I used to love those as kids. But there's all these different paths that you can create in order for them to get to where they need to get to. I will see in a moment if I can pull that up in a different application to show you. but I want to make sure that I get through everything. So tons of things you can use with Genie. And the great thing about it is you can individualize learning. You make learning fun. You make it engaging. You can create self-paced learning plans for each student. It's just, it's an all-around win. And, you know, research shows that kids actually score, kids who play video games, research has shown that they score higher, especially when it comes to like math and science scores. It's an awesome tool. We're a lot of us are very, I shouldn't say a lot of us, some of us are very anti video games because the kids spend so much time on it. But if we can use it to our advantage, we should. And so you'll see here, the concept is simple. Kids like games and hope that by applying evidence-centered design, the game-based formative assessments address the needs of students and teachers. Now, let's see. Some more benefits. I want to get to actually showing you how to do this, okay? So that you walk away with understanding what to do. And because I'm worried with time and I want to give you time to ask questions, I am going to ignore that. I'm going to log in, and what I would encourage you to do initially is just to watch, and then log. I'm going to give you time to log in and ask any questions, okay? But I want to show you how this works. It was a little, when I first got this, it was a little cumbersome because I didn't know what I was doing and there were not a lot of videos out there to show how to use it. Now there's more for you, and then I'm going to show you as well things that I learned. It's really actually very easy. I just made it more complicated. So, oh, here's some more things. So the drag, I like this one. Let me show you this one. There's a memory game. There's so many things you can do with this. So, come on now. I feel like I should have music here while I'm waiting for it to open. You basically are just connecting, what? Oh, I have it open on it. Do I have it open on my other computer? I don't. Oh, it's because of the other, except, goodness, let me shut this down. Close this one. Okay, so basically with this particular game, you can draw a line matching the terms. You have, let's see what else. I'm just, quizzes, experiences. If you go to create a Genie, really very easy. We're just going to kind of walk through this together. You have tons of options. You have presentation, you have learning, you have report, video presentation. The gamification is where I usually go, or the learning experience. So if you click on the gamification, you have templates. So this is, you've got tons of different things you could pick from. So you see you have shoot the clown. There's the one I did with invaders. You get all the templates. There. Well, I shouldn't say you get. I do pay for the educator version, but it is very, in my opinion, very inexpensive and worth it. You get a lot of them free. I went ahead and got the other one because it was, for the educator one, I think it was like $49 for the year, which really wasn't bad when I was using it as much as I was. But a lot of them you do get free. Tons of things to choose from, tons. So let's just pick, let's do the farm game, okay? So I'm gonna click on the farm game and open that up. and go, okay, I definitely, it shows you, like, it'll show you what you do. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to use this template. And it's going to preload it. Now, you can create your own thing from the beginning. You don't have to use the templates, but you know, if it makes life easier, why not do it, right? I'll often take the templates and just kind of tweak them to fit my particular needs. While this is loading, does anyone have any questions? I feel like I have kind of gone really, really fast. Give me some questions while this is loading. No questions? Are y'all there? Y'all are being quiet like the students are. It's Genially, GENIAL.LY. So, oh, you'll see the template is there, okay? Everything is already loaded. Now, I'm going to show you. It tells you where the right answer goes and where the wrong answer goes. I like to switch it up a little bit, and I also like to add my own. I will add more slides because, like, this only has 10 slides. So if I want to duplicate a slide, literally, good question. That's a great question. So initially when I was learning how to use it, it took a little more time. Now it doesn't take much time at all. I would say it depends on what you're doing too. Like this game right here, you'll see I can probably create this game in about 10 minutes. If I wanted to do the learning experiences, those are going to take longer. I might need an hour or two, depending on the length of it and what I want to do. That will dictate it. Okay, but that's a very good question. If I want to duplicate a page, though, I just click on the copy and it will automatically duplicate the page. Okay, but so if I don't, you literally click on it, type what you want your question to be, okay? And let's say I want my question to be, how did the chicken cross the road? All right, and then if I want this to be my right answer, I literally, all I have to do is type in the right answer and put the wrong answer in the other two. Okay, that's all I have to do. But if I want to change it or I want to create my own, yes, you can. You can copy and paste. It's very simple. See this little thing right here, this finger. If you click on the finger, okay, this determines the path. So if I click on that, I can decide the path. So if they get that one right, I can pick, okay, when they get that right, I want them to go to this slide next. Literally, that's, you know, it's preset in the preset ones, okay? I'm showing you this in case you want to do more with it or change things. That's as easy as it is. If I want them to click on something and it go to a link, literally all I do is click over here on link and I put the link in. And I can do open in new tab or open replacing Genie, either one I want to do. If I want a window, like let's say one of the answers that are wrong, I might want a window that pops up and says no, try again. And so I might have the wrong answers go to that window. I can add a video in here in that window that they have to watch and do something before they move on, right? Again, you can create. There's so many things that imagination, you can use your imagination and do so many things with it. But each one of these, like they're already done, but if I want to change it, I would just click on that and change the direction of where I want it to go. Now, let's say I wanted to, over to the left, you have your text where you can change. You have all kinds of options for your text. You have images. that you can pick from, but you can also just copy and paste your own images. You can use your own images. I like the GIFs, the Jiffies, the GIFs. I love the Jiffies. I don't know why. I love them. So, you know, you can click on it, boom. I just added a GIF to it. That simple. I can go to the interactive elements and I can add a home button. All I do is click on it and there's my home button. I can move it around. I can change the path so if I had this home button, I click on the little pointy thing, tell it where I want it to go, and they select it. Do I want it to go to a window, or do I want it to go to a certain page? Which page do I want it to go to? And save. Simple as that. I need to select the page. Okay, let me select the page. There we go. Now there's this little thing right here to the right. If I want things to slide in, that's what this is. It's the animation. If I want it to slide in, if I want it to fade in, if I want it to bounce, as it's doing right now, if I want it to swirl, I can make it swirl. So again, super, super, super easy. I can change my background. I can pick a different color, right? And if you're doing a game like the Monopoly game, I do often, because you're moving things around, sometimes I will lock those. And the little lock thing is right up here to the left. And if I click lock, just to make sure they can't move. If you're doing one of the activities where they're moving things, I will sometimes lock certain ones I don't want them to move. Or you want someone to change. So let me go back. Oh, I have to name it. Test. You can, let's see there. I feel like there's something I'm leaving out. I know there's something I'm leaving out. Give me some more questions. What other questions do you have? The one question a lot of people ask that I'm surprised none of you have asked yet is the data piece, because I'm a big one on data. And unfortunately, there's no actual data within Genie, but as you see, I incorporate other things in there, right? When I create those experiences, I create links that take them to certain things they have to do, and that gives me the data that I need. So, you know, that's the only disadvantage I feel that anything that this program offers. The keywords is, I tried to pull this one up a minute ago. Let's see if it'll work. How do you incorporate it into Canvas? I just give them the link. I mean, I just give them the link and they're able to go right in and do it. And like you guys, I could do the Pear deck. Like, you know, I'm doing this through Pear deck. Started it through Pear deck. They can get the link just like y'all did through Pear deck and access it. So, you know, it's super, super easy. This particular game is the one I was trying to show you a minute ago. Hopefully it's going to open for me. All right, so if I want to, I literally just pick I go up here to my ink color. I want to pick purple, and I just draw my line to it. That's all I have to do, right? Simple. And then I can keep going. There's more. As I get through each, I have more. So a good practice game, a good way for kids to practice, little activity for them to do. And again, you would create. So this is the template. You'll see the template right here. I can go in and I can change anything on that template that I want to change. I can add additional text. I can add an image. I can change the path of something if I want them to click on something. This one doesn't really have a lot of clicking to it. But I can determine that. What other questions? Yeah, I usually just give them the link and have them complete it. The most of the games they like. I mean, I don't have to pull teeth to get them to do it because they like the gaming aspect of it. Tons of options to choose from. Templates, again, you could literally start from scratch and create your own though. By putting your own background in, setting your own path for where they go. But I would recommend doing the free one first. So what I would like for you to do, I would love it if you go ahead and take a few minutes and sign up. If there's no, okay, but see, there is. If the games, like the little games, no. Like the game you did at the beginning where you had to guess who, or the Pac-Man game. No, there's no way to know if they did that. But I will tell you that they like it. I mean, I don't think I find that the kids like the games. They want to play them. You know, I was mentioning Pear Deck earlier. There's a puzzle in there. Like there's a puzzle. They love to do the puzzle. They will sit there and they will do the puzzle because they want to get the puzzle done before they move on. And so with the games themselves, I don't worry about that. Now, if I've got longer things like the learning experiences, I purposely add in, like, for instance, let's just use this for example. I want them, when they click on this button, I want them to go to Play Pause It or Ed Puzzle, and I want them to complete that before they can move on, right? And they have to determine an answer of something before they move on. So I literally just go in, and I can pull Ed Puzzle. I can pull the data from that. I can pull the data from Common Lit. I can pull the data from Play Pause It. I can pull the data from all those other things. But I could literally just say, okay, when they get to this, I want them to go to Common Lit. So I don't want to have the link in front of me, but I think it's commonlit.org. And I would put the link of where I wanted to take them for that assignment. And so when they click on it, that's not a valid link. Let me get the link. Let's see, Common Lit. Oh, I'm just going to take this link because it really doesn't matter. So you would just literally put the link in there that they have to go to. And so when they start, it's going to force them to go to that link. And then they have to do that before they can go. And so then my next page might be something that they have to answer, and they can't answer it unless they watched the video or watched whatever it is I wanted them to watch. Does that make sense? So that kind of helps with the accountability. There might be a specific solution they have to solve before they can move on. So they take what they watched and did, and they have to solve for something, and then they can go to the next step. So, you know, I have found that works pretty well for me. What is the link to Pear Deck? Pear Deck. Yeah, let's go back to the Pear Deck for a moment. Yeah, Pear Deck is amazing. So the Pear Deck was the joinpd.com. Pear Deck is another one that I absolutely love. I think I have a couple more questions on here too. Does it let you? So here, perfect, right? Everybody type in some questions. Give me a question. Give me some questions on here. Type in a couple questions for me. I know you've been typing them in the chat box, but type them in on Pear Deck for me. There we go. Yeah. If you didn't get to joinpd.com, and then it's RYJYBQ. That's another thing you could do. You could be doing the games with them online, and they have to respond on Pear Deck, or show a screenshot, or, you know, there's tons of things. You could have them submit a screenshot. I've had them do that before. Like once they solve it, once they get to the end and they get the screen that says congratulations, they then upload their screenshot to Canvas as a way to show they did their assignment, to say that they did it, if that makes sense. So, okay, a couple of you are asking some questions. Do you prefer Pear Deck to Nearpod? I do. I do prefer Pear Deck to Nearpod. I don't know. I really like it better. I don't know why. I feel like it's more intuitive and I just like it more. And it works so easily with Google. My favorite book is 1,000 Splendid Suns. I love 1,000 Splendid Suns. Mickey or Minnie? Oh gosh, it's gotta be Mickey. It's gotta be Mickey. I love it. I love it. Good. Any other questions? Let's see. I forgot what I have on my next slide. I might have had another question. No, I guess I don't. Or it's another one. What can I answer? What can I answer before we go? I think I would love it if you try to go ahead and create an account and take a few minutes. I purposely wanted to build in about 10 or 15 minutes to try it. If you don't want to do that, certainly you don't have to. There is the bit.ly to get your attendance for joining. And then let me move this thing. Oh, it's not moving. I have to go actually pull it up to move it, I think. All right, give me a second. I have to move this green box to give you the QR code to scan. So give me a moment and I'll do that. If you could go ahead though and create an account in Genie, that would be wonderful. Just play around with it for a few minutes. And that way, if you have questions, I'm right here. I can answer them. And I'm going to pull up the presentation. And so I can give you that QR code. Yeah, and so Barbara, Pear Deck, yeah, it's P-A-R, just like Pear Deck. Yes, well, I showed you Pear Deck and Genie. Yes, both. And then I didn't get I'll try again to see if I can get my deck toys to open. But I kind of used a lot. I used Edpuzzle, I used Common Lit, I used Pear Deck, Common Lit. Do you have access to it? I'll give you a link to it. I don't know if you have it or not, but I'll give you a link to it. I have no problem with giving you a link to it. I'm happy to do that. And let me get this and then and that way you'll have everything. Common Lit I use. What were some of the other things? I will combine anything with it. Let's see. All right, let me move this first so you can get your code to scan. All right, where's the QR code? Ah, there it is. Move away. There we go. Now let me make it bigger. Present. So you can scan it. And then let me give you the link. I will copy and paste the link for the whole presentation so you have it and so you can access it at any time. It's being a little stubborn opening. Loading. Y'all have issues with Google yesterday? Google just totally would not work for me yesterday for a couple of hours. It was so frustrating. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys coming. I'm going to put the link I just got to pull it up on my other tab while you're doing that and give you the link to this so you have it. But feel free if you have any more questions. I'm here to answer them for you. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm opening it on my other tab and it's, taking forever and a day. Actually, did everybody get that? It might be quicker just to let me get the link. Copy and paste. Copy, Command C, and then let me put it in here for you. All right, and there, did it do it? Nope, there we go. Okay. There is the link to the presentation. And good. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, guys. If there's any question, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them before you go. And you know, when you go in the presentation, you'll click on the hyperlink for the Genie. You'll get everything on the Genie too. On this particular page, you click on that, it'll take you right to my Genie. Thank you. I hope you all continue to enjoy your workshops and learn lots.